All right, welcome back, Kaylee and Rayleigh. If you're watching, thank you for reminding me that I needed to do another video. So let's go ahead and get started. Today, we're gonna extend on the beanie that we did last time, and we're going to close off the bottom of the beanie and make a hacky sack. So how are we gonna go about doing that? So first of all, we're gonna need our yarn. I've got this yellow that I'm going to be using today for the hacky sack. The instructions here say to use a US H8 5mm crochet hook. So I've got my H8 5mm right here. But again, remember, if you don't have the exact hook, you can go one size larger or smaller, so like a G or an I, even a J if you can't find an I, whatever you have, that's fine. There's plenty of room to use what you have on these. Additionally, in order to make our hacky sack, we're going to need something to fill it. I've got these black beans that should do pretty well. They're a nice size, not too big, not too small. You can use beans, you can use rice. I'm sure there's plenty of other things around the house you can maybe use. Be careful with rice. You want to make sure that if you're using rice that your stitches are tight enough that the rice grains aren't going to fall through. If you're using something a little bit bigger like a bean, that's less likely to be a problem. But I'm sure it'll be okay either way. So let's go ahead and get started. Now, in order to start, first thing that we're going to need is a slip knot. Now again, for this, we're going to take our yarn and we're going to actually have this backwards. So the end of the yarn is going to be here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to twist it around like so. So having it here, take your fingers underneath and roll it over. So you should have this nice spiral shape that goes to the end of the yarn and back around. And then we're going to just reach through that hoop and we're going to grab the end right here that goes to that loose tail. And then what we're going to do is we're just going to pull this tight like so. We should have a little bit of an end and we should have a nice knot right here. And if we pull this end, it slides the hoop, makes the hoop a little bit smaller. And if we pull the hoop, makes our line smaller. Perfect. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this circle that we've got. I'm going to make it a little bit smaller to work with. Something like that. Great. So we're going to take this hoop and we're going to put 6 stitches into this hoop that's going to form the top of our ball. Then we're going to double each row. So we'll do 6 at first, then 12, and then 24, and then 48, and we'll just keep going. And then we're going to do a couple of rows of the same number repeated. So it'll be like the beanie. We increase, and then we do a couple of rows down. But this time, we're actually going to decrease afterwards, and we're going to bring it back to a point so that you get a nice ball shape and a sphere. So should be very fun, should be a nice little toy to play with after we finish as well. So to get started, we're going to take our hoop right here that we've made. And if anyone's watching this and you've seen other videos that mention magic rings and using a magic ring to start these things, we don't want to get into that here. I'll do a separate video sometime on magic rings, how to make them and how to use them. It's a little more complicated, and this is plenty sufficient for what we're trying to do. So to get started, let's go ahead and stick our hook through the hoop. And with the yarn connected to our skein, we just want to reach through, grab that piece. Also, refresher on how I hold my yarn. So I've got my hand here, lay it across my hand, wrap around my finger, and then wrap around my ring finger, back in between those two. And then from there, I can pinch. So that is how I hold it. Different people hold it different ways. There's no right or wrong. That's just what's most comfortable and effective for me. So from here, I'm holding the yarn that's connected to the skein. We've got our loose end over here, and I got my hoop. So we go into the hoop, grab the yarn connected to the skein with the hook, pull through, and then we're gonna loop over the hook and pull through. And that's our first stitch. And notice here, I am holding the hoop so it doesn't flip around and get tangled and move when we want it to stay still. So I'm going to be holding that a fair bit in this video. From here, we've got one loop on our hook. So I'm going to go into the hoop, grab the yarn with the hook, pull it through, and then I'm going to loop yarn over the hook and pull it through both of the loops on the hook. Again, into the hoop, grab the yarn on the other side, pull it through, yarn over, pull it through both hoops. Again, into the hoop, grab the yarn over. See, it's wanting to slide around. That's why we hold it with our fingers there. And then we pull through both loops. Let's do it again. Through the hoop, grab the yarn over, like so. Pull through both of those, just like that. Now, for my purposes, I find that this first stitch is really hard to work into, so I'm going to skip it. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 stitches so far. We're going to do 2 more. So through the hoop, pull through, yarn over, pull through both loops. Through the hoop, grab the yarn, pull it through, yarn over, and pull it through both loops. So we should have 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Perfect. So at this point, we can go ahead and take our loose tail, and if we pull on that, it closes everything up nicely, just like so. And then we will tie a knot in that later. But for right now, let's keep crocheting. So this is where the spiral concept comes in. Normally we would slip stitch to join, pull through, and then we would chain 1 and then do another round. Slip stitch to join, chain 1, do another round. This time I'm just going to keep going. Spiral, 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 spiral. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I'm going to start right here, and I'm going to carefully stick my hook under both of those stitches, or under both of those strands of yarn. You can see how it's kind of a V shape here. For this pattern, we want to go underneath both of those. So from here, loop the yarn over the hook, pull through. Now I've got 2 hoops, so I'm going to loop over, pull through. Now, we need to increase from 6 to 12 stitches. In order to do that, we're going to put 2 into each of these stitches. 6 times 2 will give us 12. So we just put a stitch right here, you can see. I'm going to put another one in the exact same spot. So I'm going to put my hook into the same stitch, grab that yarn, pull it through, yarn over, pull through. Now we move on to the next one, right? So that's stick it through, pull through, yarn over, pull through both. That's 1. Go into the exact same stitch, pull through, yarn over, pull through. So that's 4, and then we're going to do it again. Yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through. Let's do another one in the exact same stitch. Stick our hook through, pull that yarn through, yarn over, pull through. Okay, that's 6. Let's go another. Yarn over, pull through. Yarn over, pull through. Same stitch, pull through. Yarn over, pull through. It's 8. Next stitch, yarn over, pull through. yarn over, pull through, same stitch, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through. Next stitch, go ahead and pull through, yarn over, pull through. Same stitch, we're going to go right in here, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through. Now, did you lose count? Did we finish? Do we keep going? Where are we at? I've lost track of where we are on this round. Do I go to the next round or not? Well, for one thing, we should probably go ahead and put a stitch marker in here so that we know when the round begins. But to know whether or not we're done, we know that we should have 12 stitches on this row. So let's count them, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Perfect. So we have successfully completed the second row. So that we don't have to worry about it again next time, I'm going to go ahead and just slip a stitch marker right in here. Doesn't really matter where exactly it goes, as long as you know which stitch you're marking to denote when the round finishes. So right here, I'm just putting it on that stitch right here to know this was the round we finished, and everything after here is the next round. Okay, so now we've done 2 rounds, and we have 12 stitches. So 6 times 2 is 12. So the next round, we'll have 6 times 3. Oh, we're going to have 18, not 24. We're going to have 18. Now, how are we going to have 18? Well, easy enough. We're going to do a single stitch, and then we'll do double. And then we'll do single, and then we'll do double. So, or rather, we'll do single, and then we'll increase, and then we'll do single, and then we'll increase. So let's go ahead and get started. Let's do 1 in here. So same stitch that we were doing before. And now I'm going to go to the next stitch. I'm not going to put 2 in here, just 1. But now let's go to the next stitch. Come on. I'm going to yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through. That's 1. Now I'm going to put a second one in here. So we're putting a second stitch in every other stitch from the prior row. Now we just did double. We did an increase on this one. So we're going to just a normal single crochet on this one. We're not going to do an increase. So yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through. Now we just did a single crochet. So this one we're going to increase. So we're going to do a single crochet like normal, pull through, yarn over, pull through. And then we're going to do a second one in the exact same spot. Yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through. All right, let's do another. So single crochet here, yarn over, pull through. Then we're going to do an increase. Go ahead and do a single crochet here, pull through, yarn over, pull through, and then another one. Same spot, we're going to do as an increase right there. And then we're going to do a single crochet, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through. Now we're going to increase, yarn over, pull through, second one in the same spot. Good. Single. Increase. Second one in the same spot. Single. Increase. Second one in the same spot. Great. And there's our stitch marker. So we should be done with this row. If we did it correctly, we should have 18 stitches. 3 times 6, that's 18. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Perfect. All right. Well, if we stop now, that would be a very small hacky sack. So let's do more rows. Well, we just did row 3. If we did row 4, 4 times 6 is 24. So we're going to have 24 stitches on the next row. In order to do that, we're going to do single, single, increase. Single, single, increase. We're going to keep going. So let me go here. All right. So we're going to do a single crochet in the first stitch. Yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through. Then we're going to go to the next stitch and do a single crochet. Yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through. Then we're going to go to the next stitch. And this time we're going to do an increase. Yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through. And then in the same spot, in the same stitch, pull that yarn through, yarn over, pull through. Good. Then we're going to do 2 single crochets. So single crochet in the next single crochet in the next stitch, and then single crochet in the next stitch after that. Sorry, just right there. And then we're going to increase on the next stitch. So go 1, and then again in the same spot. 2. And then we're going to go single crochet, single crochet, increase. Single crochet, single crochet, increase. Same spot. Single crochet, single crochet, increase. Same spot. Single crochet, single crochet, increase, all right, and let's count to make sure that we've got the right number of stitches. We said it should be 24. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. Perfect. Perfect. Now we're starting to lose sight of our stitch marker down here a little bit. So I'm going to go ahead and move that up a couple of rows, just like so. So I took it off and I'm putting it right here underneath the stitch that we just did so that we can know that that's where our spiral needs to start increasing further. All right. That was row 4. So row 5 is going to be 6 times 5, which is 30. In order to do that, we're going to go 1, 2, 3 singles, and then an increase. Now the pattern here, if you haven't noticed, the way that you can remember this is, since we're on row 5, we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5 goes into the same stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Sorry. We'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5 goes into the same stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 goes into the same stitch. And that pattern follows for every row. On the last row, we did 1, 2, 3, 4 goes into the same stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4 goes into the same stitch. So that's how we're going to remember how many single crochets we want to do each time. So for this row, we're going to do 1 single crochet, 2 single crochet, 3 single crochet, and here we're going to go 4, but we're going to put this 5th one in the same stitch. That's going to be our increase. So again, we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 goes into the same stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 goes into the same stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 goes into the same stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 goes into the same stitch. And the last section we have here, we go 1, 2, 3, 4. And 5 goes into the same stitch. Perfect. Okay, we should have 30, so let's count to make sure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, and 30. Perfect. Now then, I think at least one more row. Let's do one more. So 6 times 6 this time, that's 36. So let's use our pattern from last time and see what we've got. So we're going to do 1 single crochet, 2, 3, 4, 5, and what row are we on? We're on row 6. So stitch 6 goes into the same stitch. That's going to be our increase right there. Again, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 6 goes into the exact same stitch. It's going to give us our increase. And then we're going to do it again. So 1, 2, oh, Stitches are getting a little too tight. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 goes into the exact same stitch. So we get our increase right here, and then we keep going. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. 6 goes into the same spot. Good. Let's do more. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 goes into the same spot. All right, we're going to do another. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 goes into the same spot. All right, let's go ahead and count to make sure that we've got the right number. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 36. Perfect. Okay. I think for the sake of this video, I'm good with that size. Let's go ahead and start making it into a ball. From here, what we're going to do is we're going to do a few rounds of just single crochets all the way around. So let me move my stitch marker up to the latest round so we don't lose our place. Right here. Just kind of looping it through right there. That seems like a good spot. Doesn't have to be perfect. Okay, so go ahead. And I'm going to fast forward through this because it's just a bunch of single crochets. But let's do 3 rounds of single crochet. All right, that's round 1. And that's round 2. All right, that's round 3. Now, what we're shooting for here, the idea is if we were to kind of round this off like that, you can see from here to about here, that's the curvature. We want roughly the same height, flat, maybe a little bit more, as what's going to be rounded. So we probably want like 2 more rows, maybe even 3. So I'm going to keep doing rows until it feels like I've got about as many of these straight rows tall as I do curved rows tall. So let's do a few more rounds. All right, that's 4 rows. And that is 5 rows. Now at this point, I think I'm pretty happy with that shape. Because now we're going to do this top portion that's curved. We're going to do that again on the bottom. And I think we'll get a decently shaped ball. So now for the interesting part. Let's go ahead and move our stitch marker up so we don't lose our place. We'll just put that through right here, just like so. There. Now, we're going to do the opposite of what we did to build the top of the ball. We're going to do that to build the bottom of the ball. Now, what do I mean by the opposite, right? So we finished on row 6. There was 36 of the little 36 stitches. And so what we did was, when we were increasing, we did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 single crochets, and then we put a double stitch. We increased on that 6th one right there. So what we're going to do is we're going to do that except backwards. So we're going to do 4, and then we're going to decrease. We're going to remove 1 stitch each time, 6 times going around the circle. Let's just try it and see where it takes us. So, single crochet in the first stitch right here, starting us off. Single, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, now then, there's a few different ways that you can reduce or decrease the number of stitches. We've already done 4. This would be 5, and this would be 6 for our set of 6 that we have going around here. The first option is you just skip this one and you go directly to the 6th, yarn over, pull through, and just do a simple single crochet like so. That's one option. That is going to have a bigger hole right here than the rest of your stitches are. And for things like amigurumi or teddy bears or even rice, things are going to fall through those holes more easily than these others. So I personally don't like that style of decrease. What I prefer to do is we just finished 4, so we're going to stick our hook through stitch 5, yarn over, pull through. Then we're going to stick our hook through stitch 6, yarn over, pull through. So now I've got 3 loops on my hook. I'm going to yarn over and pull through all 3 of those. So where I did have 2 stitches, on this row, I only have 1. So we have decreased the number of stitches from this row to that row by 1. We're going to do that again. So we're going to do 4 single crochets. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And as things start to curl, it can be hard to make sure that you get both of these stitches in that V. Make sure that you get both. You don't want to just get the top one. We want the strength that comes from having both in your stitch. Okay, so we did our next 4. So again, we're going to come in here to stitch 5. We're going to go through, grab that yarn and pull it through. And then we're going to go into stitch 6, grab that yarn, pull through. We've got 3 loops on our hook, yarn over, pull through. All 3, just like so. And then we do it again. So 4 singles, 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to go into 5, yarn over, pull through, into 6, yarn over, pull through, 3 loops on our hook, yarn over, pull through all 3, and that's our reduction. That's our decrease. 4 single, so 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to go through 5, pull through, go through 6, pull through, 3 on our hook, yarn over, pull through all 3. Let's do another 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we're going to decrease. 5 pull through, oops, 6 pull through. And then we yarn over and pull through all 3. Again, 4, so 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we're going to decrease. So we have 1 and 2. Pull through. All right, now we're at our stitch marker. So that should be done with that row. Let's go ahead and count. We had 36. We did 6 decreases. You can almost see the shape that it makes. You get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we did 6 decreases. From 36, we should be down to 30, which is 5 times 6. So we have 5 circles left. Let's go ahead and count. We should have 30. Okay, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31. Well, I did something wrong. All right, not sure exactly how that happened, but I now have 30 stitches after that round of reduction. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, and 30 stitches, which is perfect. So from here, we're going to do the same thing. Before we go any further though, one thing that I do want to call out is if you look at the texture on your ball, there are 2 different sides and they are different. You can see on this side, there are these crossbars that are running along each stitch right here for each row. If I flip this inside out, you can see there are no crossbars. These are almost like little X's, little knots. And so this is going to be more of a popcorn pattern, where this is going to be more of a, I don't know, maybe a woven look to the pattern. Neither one's necessarily right or wrong. If you're doing amigurumi, I think most people prefer this side that doesn't have the crossbars. For me personally, I think I like the crossbars. I'm going to leave mine with the crossbars on the outside, but you flip yours inside out, right side in, whichever way you want it to be, so that whatever's on the outside of the ball is the pattern that you want your hacky sack to look like. Again, either way is fine. As you can see, I'm crocheting and the hacky sack is cupped towards me. If I was doing the other side and I open it up like this, I'm going to be crocheting and you'll see that the hacky sack is cupping away from me. It's the same stitch. You're going to be doing the same thing in the same process. It's just going to be tilting away instead of towards. Either way is fine. So for me, I'm going to do it like this. So we just did the reduction from 6 to 5. So now we're going to do from 5 to 4. So before we did 4 stitches and then a decrease. So this time we're going to do 3 stitches and then a decrease. So we're going to start by doing single crochets, 3 of them. We go 1, 2, 3. Now again, remember we had 6 sections of 5. We just did 3 single crochets. So normally we would have 2 more stitches in this set of 5, but we're going to decrease by combining these 2. We're going to go into stitch 4, yarn over, pull through. Then we're going to go into stitch 5, yarn over, pull through, like so. I've got 3 on my hook, yarn over, pull through all 3 of those. Again, we're going to do 3 single crochets. So you get 1, 2, 3, and then we're going to decrease. So 1 and a second right here. That's 3 on my hook, yarn over, pull through all 3, 3 single crochets. 1, 2, 3. And then we're going to decrease. So we go through stitch 4, yarn over, pull through. Go through stitch 5, yarn over, pull through. Yarn over, pull through all 3, and then we're good. We'll do another 3 single crochets. 1, 2, and 3. And then decrease. So we go through 4, yarn over, 5, yarn over, pull through all 3. 3 single crochets. 1, 2, 3. And then we're going to go 4 and 5 together. Yarn over, pull through all 3. There's our decrease. And once more, let's go 3 single crochets. 1, 2, and 3. And decrease. So 4, yarn over, pull through. 5, yarn over, pull through. Yarn over, pull through all of them. All right, let's go ahead and count. We had 30. We just decreased. So we should be down to 24. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. Beautiful. And we're going to go again. So this time, where last time we did 3 single crochets and then a decrease, we'll do 2 single crochets and then a decrease. So we're going to go right here for our first single crochet, and then another single crochet, and then a decrease. So we're going to go here and 4, yarn over, pull through all 3, 2 single crochets, 1, 2, decrease, so 3 yarn over, pull through, 4 yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through all 3, 2 single crochets, 1, 2, decrease, 1, 2, yarn over, pull through, 2 single crochets, 1, 2. And decrease, 1 and a 2. Yarn over, pull through all 3. 2 single crochets, 1 and 2. Decrease, 1, 2. Single crochet, 1, 2. And now we're going to decrease, and I think that's the end of this row. 1 and 2. Beautiful. All right. Now we had 24, we decreased 6, so we should have 18. Let's go ahead and count. We've got 1, 2, 3, oops, sorry. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh no, I dropped it. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. All right, things are getting pretty tight and cramped in here, but I think we can finish. All right, we're gonna do 1 single crochet, then a decrease. So, single crochet right here, and the next stitch, and then we're going to decrease. This is where it's really important to make sure you get both of those pieces of yarn, because it's going to want to curl in or out on you depending on which way you're holding it, and it's not going to want to play nicely. So make sure that you pinch it and you get that piece in there. All right, so we're doing 1 single crochet and then a decrease. There, yarn over, pull through, 1 single crochet, and then decrease. Single crochet, decrease. Single crochet, decrease. single crochet, decrease. Oops. All right, I think that's the end of that row. So let's count. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Perfect. All right, we are almost done here. So before we finish, let's go ahead and put whatever it is we want to fill this with. Let's go ahead and put that inside. I'm going to very carefully And now it's wanting to build a little mountain right there in the middle, so I'm just kind of tucking some of it into the edges of the ball to give myself more room to pour a little bit more in here. All right, I think that's good. We don't need to overfill it too much. We want to have a little bit of play, so to speak, a little bit of space. We also want it to kind of shape itself, right, and form that sphere shape from having the weight inside of it. So I think maybe I can go a little bit more. I think that'll be fine right there. Okay, before I make this too difficult on myself, let's go ahead and finish this up. So from here, last time we did 1 single crochet, no more single crochets. We're just going to decrease. We have 12. We're going to do decreases all the way around, and that'll give us 6. And that's what we started the first round with, so we'll be done. So let's go ahead and do some decreases. We're going to go through here, grab that, go through here, grab that, and pull through. We're going to go here and here, pull through. Good, come on. Just like so. And then we're going to go through here and here. Pull through all 3 of those. Good. Then we'll go through here, 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 and here. Now at this point, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm going to keep going just a little bit more because the other side over here, we have this slip knot that we made that I can pull to make that nice and tight. But up here, we don't have that. So I'm going to just do 1 or 2 more decreases just to get this hole closed up as best I can. So that's 1, and then I'll do 1 more, like so. And then I think that should be good right there. So I'm just going to slip knot, so pull through, pull that tight. I'm going to do a couple more just because I like to make sure everything is set and it's not going anywhere. So I'm going to pull through 2, and lastly, pull through 3. So let's go ahead and clip that off here. Pull this all the way through so we have a tail. We can remove our stitch marker. And let's tie off this side that we started with to make sure it doesn't unravel. All right, I'm gonna just take my sewing needle, this is a plastic one that I have. I'm gonna just thread that needle. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna hold this piece. I'm gonna go in through one of these side holes right here, out through the center, just like so. Go ahead and pull that tail all the way through. And then I'm going to poke the needle back through this hole that I've been holding. And that's going to give us our first knot. And we can pull that tight, like so. I like doing a couple of knots just to make sure nothing's going anywhere. So again, I'm going to pinch between the ball and the needle. I'm just going to hold that. I'm going to go in through the same hole that I used last time, out through that center dot, pull the rest of that yarn through, and then stick the needle through that loop so that when I pull through, we have a second knot. And I think 2 knots should be enough. From here, you've got a few options. We can weave in the ends like we did last time. If you'd like, you can use that sewing needle that we had. So we can use that sewing needle again. We can take the ends, we can, thread, and then we can sew this into these stitches that we made and attempt to hide the last of our yarn, that tail, inside these stitches. Now my stitches are very tight, so it's going to be a little hard to thread. That's 1. I like to do about 3 passes. Again, we're going to go, I went under these stitches right here. You want to make sure we loop around at least 1 stitch so that it gives it something to hold on to. But we're going to go backwards, like so. Pull that through. Nope, now it came off my hook, but that's okay. Here we go. And now we're going to do a third one. Again, you can see where it came out right here. We want to go around this stem right here so that it kind of creates a knot. And we're going to just thread the needle back, going that way. That looks good right there. Go ahead and pull this through, like so. Good. And then we can cut the loose end, and that weaving back and forth that we just did, call that weaving in the loose ends. That's going to hold that piece nice and stable so it doesn't come out. Or if you don't want to go through all that trouble, you can just tuck it into the ball. And if it comes out, you can just tuck it all back in later. That's the other option. One easy way of doing that, if you do want to tuck it in, you can take the crochet hook, you can go in through any hole, come back out next to where the tail is here, go ahead and loop the yarn over that, and then you just pull it into the ball. And instead of coming back out like here, you just take that yarn and you push it back all the way through. Just push it into the ball. And see, I've lost some. And so here we can just keep going. I can reach through, I can grab more yarn and just pull it inside. And you can use that to just keep pulling yarn into the ball until it's all hidden inside. Oops. So you can see I'm pulling it in to this hole right here, right there. So every time I put my hook back out to pull the yarn, we want to make sure that we're pulling it into the same hole. Otherwise, you're going to create a knot instead of pulling the yarn into the ball. All right, that's about it. So just kind of tucking all of that loose yarn into the ball. So there you go. That works well enough, right? If the yarn pops out later, you can always weave it in later. But there's your little hacky sack, little ball. Now mine is it's pretty large. It's a little oblong. You could probably only do 5 layers, and then again do 5 middle, and then 5 to close, and probably have a more ball-shaped hacky sack. This one's a little flat, but that's okay. You know, it's mine, and I made it, and it's fun. So let me know how yours goes. Send me a picture, post a picture in the comments. I'm curious to see how everybody's hacky sacks turned out. Hope you enjoyed this. And if you're interested in another video, let me know. The next one would be fingerless gloves. There's some interesting things that you can learn from the way that you build up the glove, sewing the fingers closed, and making that thumb kind of branch off. So if you're interested, we can do that next. Just let me know. But hope you had fun, and I'll see you later.